What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I want to make a quick video on my trade that I took today on AMD. Now, we know AMD, Nvidia, Qualcomm, some of these chip stocks have been extremely hot lately. The entire sector has been moving up very, very nicely. Now, the last few days we've started to see a little bit of cool off on the market, and we have definitely seen the cool off on those stocks as well. Now, when I see those stocks start to move lower, start to cool off, that doesn't mean I no longer am interested and no longer want to look at them. That's actually the time that I am becoming more interested in potential plays back to the upside. Now, this morning, I was looking at this level on AMD, $142 a share. I sent out that chart. We talked about it in the pre-market live stream. AMD back to 142 was a very interesting level. I was watching it intraday. We pulled back to that level in the morning, started to consolidate very nicely about 20-30 minutes into the market. And at that time, I went ahead and took my trade at that key level, using low of day as my stop loss. A very nice structured trade using technicals, and that's why in today's video, I want to go ahead and show it to you guys, something that I'm actually currently still holding. So I think this would make a very nice educational video for you guys to show you how I found this trade and how I executed on it. So in today's video, that's what we're going to go over. If you guys enjoy it after watching, make sure to press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more. And if you're a subscriber of this channel, make sure to come hang out in the pre-market live streams. We hit 1,000 viewers on the pre-market live streams. Thank you guys so much for the support. Let's go ahead and see if we can continue to grow those live streams into the end of the year. All right, guys, so before we get into the technicals today, I quickly want to go over my mindset heading into today, heading into a day after the market fell and after I took some losses in my long-term portfolio. As you guys may know, if you're part of the live stream or in the Discord, I closed my Qualcomm trade yesterday. I gave up quite a bit of profits on that trade. I think I ended up closing it up just up a few $100s, whereas one time I was up close to $1,500 on the trade, and I definitely gave back some profit. So it was frustrating. I didn't like to see it happen. I closed the trade. I thought about it, late night last night, and I, thought about what could I have done better on that trade, right? Unfortunately, it broke down yesterday. I had to cut it. It broke under a level that I didn't want to see it below. Today, as you may know, it is back up higher, and it's just obviously back up higher because I'm not in it. That's how it works, right? Just kidding. That's just a joke. But coming into today, I didn't want to try to revenge trade back and try to make up some of those losses that I had, right? That is the worst mentality to come into a trading day after the market was down, after maybe you took a few hits the day prior. It is never good to come back on another day, the next day, and try to make it all back, especially in a market that we are in right now, which is a little bit choppy and a little bit volatile. So today, my plan was not to make back all of these profits. I wanted to get a few more good trades under my belt, get my confidence back going, get a nice trade going, and see if I can sort of build on that momentum and make back the profits that I gave back on Qualcomm. So today, I scaled down and I really focused on a good trade setup that I could take, and that today was AMD. So here's AMD, guys. Here's the daily chart right on your screen. And we're just going to go ahead and blank canvas this right now, and we're going to go exactly and break down what I was looking at, technicals, everything what I was looking at to find this trade. So daily chart, AMD, you guys know we had the big move higher. Now, over the last few days, we've gotten the pullback. From the highs, we pulled back yesterday just about 11% from the highs. So I saw that pullback. I said, okay, where can we start to find support? And maybe I can play this back up if we start to get some momentum back into the chip stock. So what I needed to do was the daily chart here, not that helpful because it's just some really big moves higher. I need to break this down a little bit closer and find some really key levels that I want to look at. So what I did was I went ahead and broke it down to the 5-day, 15-minute chart. I wanted to see where could I expect AMD to hold some support. Now, the level that I went ahead and chose to look at was these previous highs from back in Friday of last week. You guys can see these previous highs right here. This was a level that I wanted to see if we could hold today. This was $142 a share. So 142, 141.76, 142. I like to call it a range. Anywhere in this range, I was looking for AMD to hold up today. Now, what you guys will notice is that yesterday we did start to find some support at that level. If I go into the 1-minute chart of yesterday, we can also see that before we broke down below it yesterday, it was definitely respecting it to some extent. You guys can see right here, around 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock yesterday, we were definitely showing support at the 142 level. Ultimately, we failed yesterday as the market started to move back lower. But what you guys will notice in the pre-market today, if I go ahead and zoom in here, remember this is the 1 minute chart, so just showing you guys the exact movements. This was yesterday, we came into today, and this morning, which I loved to see, this morning we went ahead and held this level pre-market. Now, this is the same level, 141.75, 142, that I was looking to see if we could hold. So if we go back out to the 15-minute chart, that was my level today. Right here on the 15-minute, I was looking to see, can AMD hold this 142, 141.75? I give it a little bit of a range and see if we can push off that level. Now, what you guys will see, if we go ahead and zoom into today, we'll go into the smaller term time frame and go to the 1 minute chart. You guys will notice that we went ahead and started to find that level this morning. Now, the key for a trade like this, the key for for a pullback trade, a consolidation at a key level to see if you can catch a push higher, is to wait and be patient for the level to prove itself. I'm not just going to go ahead and buy this thing right away. As soon as I see it drop in, I'm not going ahead and, slamming calls on the table, putting ridiculous risk on the table. I'm waiting to see if it can start to find some level, start to find some consolidation, some support over, let's say, a 30 to 1 hour time frame. So what you guys will notice, this consolidation here in the morning over about an hour and a half of time, it was very nice consolidation. This was what I was looking to see if that could occur. Now, what you'll notice, we moved higher, we pulled back, and we created a very clean double bottom here. And this is not just some double bottom at some random level, right? This was my level. This was my demand zone. This was my support level that I was looking at from last Friday, right? The one we just looked at, the 15-minute chart. So that green box there, when I look at it intraday, if that stock is in the green box, I am going to look for upside. I want to see if it can hold that demand zone. So I got into this trade right here. I'll go ahead and pull it up in the Discord chat. As you guys know, I post all of my trades that I take in this chat room. Win or loss, it really doesn't matter to me. Everyone is human and everyone will take losses. So here is my trade, a day trade. That we'll get to that. That was my original plan. A day trade, 11.19, 143 call for $3.80, right? So we went ahead and we took that trade. The reason I took next week's was because I like to take at least a week out, because if a trade looks good into close, sometimes intraday, I will change my plan to potentially swing trade the option. Today, AMD closed at the highs and looked very strong all throughout the afternoon, and I wanted to go ahead and take my risk on a swing trade. I don't have too much risk in the trade. I can afford to take a loss, and I really like the way AMD held, and that is why I took that 11.19, because if I took an 11.12 this week expiration, I wouldn't have that luxury to go ahead and swing trade this. I would never swing something into the Friday of expiration. It's just not really a good contract, guys. Very high theta. It'll get taken out overnight if there's any move lower, and that's just not a contract that I would recommend swing trading. With 1 week of time, it's not ideal, but it's not as bad as taking the same day or next day expiration, right? So that was my trade. My stop was below low of day, right? That was where I wanted to make sure that I would get out. If we dropped below low of day, I would get out of this trade. So you guys can see this is what the chart looked like at the time. I'll go ahead and zoom in, and you can see this is what the chart looked like at the time. We started to find support. We started to break above the VWAP, and I went ahead and I got into this trade. So it went against me a little bit. I was down at one point, and I'll go ahead and talk to you through why I continued to hold. So at one point, you guys can see I was quickly up. We pulled back. We pulled back here, but we never made a lower low, and we never broke below low of day. So as long as that is occurring, I am not exiting this position. Why do I not get out? Because I am coming into the trade accepting the loss. I am okay to take the loss. I'm not going to panic out of a position when it's in my demand zone, it's still holding, when it's still holding low of day, and it's still consolidating here and clearly holding a nice little double bottom. Not going to get out of a trade if that happens. If it broke below low of day, If AMD started to come down here below 140s and start to break down, then yes, I would have got out and I would have taken my loss. But that is not what occurred. So what you guys will notice, AMD through the rest of the day held up beautifully, pushed higher, continued to make higher lows, higher highs, and then right here around, it was basically right around 1 o'clock, this thing just went ahead and went off and continued higher throughout the rest of the day. So when I see a trade like this, you're continuing higher through the rest of the day, outperforming the overall market, closing near the highs, and nice little aftermarket right now. I'm very comfortable swing trading this type of position because of the strength that it showed into close. Now, of course, AMD could come back, and that's a risk that I'm willing to take. We'll see what happens, but that is why I took AMD today. That is the technicals that I was doing. It was a plan from pre-market. I executed on the plan. I stayed calm. I stayed cool. I didn't panic out of it when it started to go against me. I paid attention to the technical levels that were in front of me. They were okay. There was nothing wrong with the setup. We continued to hold the demand zone. We didn't break the low of day. And if I just sit back and relax and watch the technicals, there is no reason to go ahead and get out of this trade. And right now, we are sitting up very, very nicely. As of close today, these AMD contracts that I went ahead and purchased for $3.80 are trading for just around $5.50. So it's just about a 40 to 45% profit on those contracts. So we'll see what happens. I'm happy with the profits that I've made. I'm very happy with the trade setup and the way that I executed it, stayed calm and collected, and trusted the technicals. And again, today, I just wanted to get a win under my belt, and this definitely feels good to find this setup. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you enjoy some of the technicals, breaking down what I was looking at, how I executed it from, step A to step B to step C, just sort of breaking down everything. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you do, make sure before you guys head out to press that like button. All right, guys, so that is it for today's video. I know a short one, but I thought this was a very good trade to go ahead and make a video on. It was clean, it was technical, and I think it's something that you can learn from and maybe incorporate into your own trading. Looking back, guys, finding key levels, trading off of them. If it doesn't work out, you take your loss. If it does, you let it work out. You let the trade work out. The technical levels today on AMD never broke down. There was never a sign of downside, no downtrends, no breaks of technical levels, and that is why I continue to hold. Sometimes trading can be that easy if you leave your emotions out of trades. Over leveraging, oversizing, getting into trades where you're not really sure where it should hold, that is when your emotions kick in. If I got into this trade with way too much size, I probably would have went ahead and got a little emotional on the pullback. But if I'm in it with size that I'm okay to lose, then I can just sort of watch it. I don't need to worry. I can let the technicals work out. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do, make sure to press that like button. If you guys want to go ahead and join the Discord chat where I post all these trades and much more, you can go ahead and check that out down below. And before you head out, make sure to subscribe. And of course, come hang out in the pre-market live streams every single morning from 8 a.m. to around 9 a.m. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.